and they were like triangle shaped, like more like an arrowhead, like that sort of shape. And there was 3 of them. I don't think we're ready as a race of people yet to have total exposure of alien technology or alien beings. I mean, it's so obvious that there is other intelligence, you know, it's so obvious there is. And especially when you see things like that in the sky.
Hello everyone, welcome back. In one of our previous videos, we talked about aliens and how poorly they were depicted in the movies, right? If you haven't checked that video out, please do check it out. In the meanwhile, I had this opportunity to talk with a friend who kind of shared with me an experience that he had regarding UFOs. Yeah, if you didn't know, UFOs or unidentified flying objects are just that, unidentified flying objects. These can be anything. It can be a surveillance drone, or it can even be your neighbor trying to mess around with you using his quadcopter. So I personally didn't believe in the possibility of these UFOs being alien. After hearing his story, the whole possibility of these UFOs being alien kind of seemed plausible. You might think this is some kind of a conspiracy theory or something, but we're talking about someone who has been into this hobby for a period of 30 years, and when he says something, he knows what he's talking about. That being said, let's get straight into the video. So you were talking about your alien stuff. So where?
Well, like I say, I mean, I've been studying skies for 30 years, okay? And I've seen fireballs, I've seen meteorites, I've seen meteors, I've seen all the satellites, and I can identify them all. I know when I see something, and I think, and just, oh, what's that up there? Oh, don't worry, it's just a whatever. But about a couple, like I said, well, I can't remember exactly when it was. It was this year, earlier this year sometime. It was about 2 a.m. and it was a beautiful clear night. There wasn't one of them nights where it's just perfect for astronomy. There weren't a breath of wind. It was crystal clear. And I just happened to be flipping my scope around, and I happened to look due south. And as I looked due south, the best way I can describe it, well, the ISS will move about that sort of speed across the sky. Yeah. Well, these objects were moving that sort of fast. Okay, we're talking that speed, which is an incredible speed. When you I forget what the actual speed of the ISS is, and like I say, it moves about that fast, doesn't it?
It's very fast. Like ISS moves like 7 kilometers per second, or
which doesn't look fast, but it is fast. Well, these objects were more that fast. Okay, from the south to the north, like that, straight across the meridian, they just went like that. And now I had enough time to see detail on them. Now, there was definitely out of our atmosphere, because there was a pale gray color, almost ghostly looking. And they were like triangle shaped, more like an arrowhead, like that sort of shape. And there was 3 of them, okay? And what will always stick with me for the rest of my life was how they maneuvered. Because not only was they going as fast as they were, because I just had enough time to see them actually swapping and changing formation as quick as that in the sky. And I was, when that shock hits you and you stood there for a minute and you're just frozen and time stops, and I just run back into the house, and my partner at the time, it was asleep, obviously. I mean, this is 2 a.m. and I'm like, you'll never guess what. So she's like, what? And I was sweating, I'd turned white. I've always believed, but now that has, just really sealed it for me, because I won't say it was life-changing, but it was an incredible experience that if there was ever a word for the UFO, unidentified flying object, that was it. Because I could not identify that. you know, in any shape whatsoever. It wasn't man-made. No way was that a satellite. No way was it a meteor. Because, like I say, it wasn't. There was no trail to it. It wasn't no flashing lights on it. It was just a pale. There was those pale grey craft. Each one about, I would say, that sort of size in the sky, like that. Just three of them moving around. So yeah, that was my experience with the unidentified craft.
That that kind of feels scary at this end because to hear it from someone who's been into astronomy for these many years and still who kind of tells me like I'm sure that it's something UFO, that's kind of
Yeah,
scary. And
it
yet,
is. Yeah, to get that comfort, that's what it was like for me because I've studied it over the years. You know, I'm interested because you've only got to think of it on an astronomical term. There's thousands upon thousands of suns out there that support that exactly the same as ours. Are you telling me that we're the only like sort of planet that supports life out of those billions upon billions
no
upon
way.
billions of suns? You know, it just don't make no sense. I mean, any rational, intelligent person, if they think about it, think, yeah, it's obvious there's other life forms out there. It's just so obvious, and to get that kick of actually seeing something, yeah, it was quite a rush, quite a rush of, oh my God, this is all real. It's something I will never forget, never forget.
Is there like, do you think is there any other possible explanation that you could give to it? Like it could be like not an what to say a UFO, like not an alien. Like, do you have something like that?
The only other rational thing that I can possibly think of is maybe some kind of rocket. Um, like when rockets, there's been a lot of SpaceX going up at the minute, and when rockets separate, they lose, components and things, nuts and bolts, if you like,
Yeah,
whatever it is. That's the only thing I could think of, that something like that was flying through the atmosphere, a bit of
but
space
still, it
debris.
doesn't explain the flipping part, nor does it explain the speed at which it was
Ex-
moving.
And this is the thing. This thing had intelligence. This thing was maneuvering. It wasn't. It was piloted. Yeah, it was piloted because space debris doesn't move like that.
Yeah,
Doesn't change formation, and no human being could cope with that kind of g-force, with
yeah.
that kind of going at that speed and moving at the same time like that in formation without them crashing, or without them just evaporating inside whatever's in there. So it's obviously not from this world. It's either technology from our world that they're not telling us about. And I'm not a conspiracy person, I mean, I think it's all a little bit, I think they know as much as we do, really. But it's like I say, it's either some kind of secret military weapon or something like that they're testing up there, or it's something from another world. They're the two things it could only be. One thing I can definitely tell you, it wasn't natural. It wasn't a natural phenomenon. It wasn't some kind of, like I say, meteorite or shooting star, whatever you want to say. I've seen thousands of them over my time. No, that was something special, something really special.
Were you looking through your telescope, like in the hopes of imaging or something? What were you like actually doing right then?
I was just out there enjoying the night sky. It was a lovely night. I'd set up, and I wasn't, in fact, I was spanning round for Ring Nebula. I was going towards Lyra, which at the time would have been, yeah, it's just sort of south, and that's why I just turned south. I was viewing north at the time, and I just thought, well, I'll just have a look at the Ring Nebula, and I spun it round, and I just went, whoa, what was that? Yeah, fantastic. But yeah, I was just out stargazing. I wasn't filming or anything. I was just out enjoying the, like we do as astronomers, go out there every opportunity we can, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, pretty exciting experience.
Yeah.
As long as they don't come visiting me.
Like I've heard these stories a lot, but not from someone who's very much into astronomy. Like I've heard it a lot from like conspiracy theorists who like always want to think about that and always want to do everything related to these stuff. But hearing it from someone who is really been into astronomy is kind of a different thing that goes into my mind.
I honestly don't think they're a threat. I really don't think they're a threat. I mean, I've always believed that these beings, whatever they are, and I think there's multiple. I don't think there's just one. I I think they can't be a threat. They've been witnessed for thousands of years. Yeah, I mean they go back to they're on cave paintings, they're on ancient paintings. They're in ancient tablature of these crafts being seen throughout the times. So I think they've always been here. They've always been around us, but they're just very elusive beings. I think they just let us get on with what we need to get on with. I don't think we're ready as a race of people yet to have total exposure of alien technology or alien beings. I mean, I just don't think we're ready as a race yet. We're not
Yeah,
telling.
there was this video from Pentagon, I guess, like few days back, like few months back, where they officially revealed it. Like these are UFOs. I
Yeah.
suppose you've seen it, right?
Yes.
So
Yes. The Navy released it, didn't they?
yeah, I was like, like at the point you think like 2020, like 2020 can't get any worse. Like you're
Yeah.
getting an alien invasion as well.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly. Yeah, what with everything else going off. Yeah. No, like I say, I don't honestly, I really don't think they're a threat. I know what you say. I mean, as I'm speaking does sound very, very science fiction, but I think there is a lot of science fact as well, because being an astronomer, like I say, you've only got to study how many suns there is. That to me, that's it. That's every star out there, every single twinkle
yeah,
you can see is a star, is a sun, and that could support planets.
yeah.
I mean, they're so far away from even the biggest telescopes to know if they support planets. And another completely solar system dependent on that star. So it's so obvious that there is other intelligence. It's so obvious there is, and especially when you see things like that in the sky.
Yeah.
But I don't, like I say, I never needed proof. I never needed proof. Just my own intelligence, my own study through astronomy and knowing how the universe works. It's inevitable. It's impossible for there not to be.
Like there is this, what to say, like a paradox called, what was it called? Oh my gosh, I forgot about it. Like yeah, Fermi paradox. Heard about it, right? Like
Oh,
why
yeah.
why we don't get to see them, even the possibility of them existing is like very much. So what do you think of that paradox?
As in, as in what? Sorry, as in, uh, uh, uh,
Like the
say that again.
paradox is
You
the
just broke
paradox.
up a little bit. I missed what you said.
Yeah, the paradox. It's called Fermi paradox, if I'm not wrong. What it says is like the possibility of alien life, seeing that there are a lot of, what to say, habitable planets out there. Obviously, even then, we haven't came in contact with any, like real contact with any. That's kind of a paradoxical. Like, why haven't we gotten contact with any?
I see
When,
what you're saying. Again, I think it's down to um,
like their preference. Do they really want to come see
I
us?
think you see, if there is a species that can travel, we're talking thousands of light years. They're
Mhm.
obviously on a technology, and the race is so far superior to us. We could just look like monkeys in a zoo to them. very irrelevant, because it's just like us trying to communicate with an ant's nest. Yeah. It'd be like, going up to ants going, hello, 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 sort of thing, what are you
Yeah, we are
told?
humans. We are humans. Like, we don't care. Like, why do they
Yeah.
even care?
I just think it's a different level of intelligence that separates us, as and that is, again, all up here. It's my theory. It's how I think rationally about it. I mean, it, like I say, all we want to do is destroy. That's what we do on this planet. We destroy, and I can't see that being too appealing to people, any kind of race. Can you? So I think that's where I stand on. I think they may have made contact in the past, in various forms, and I think, like I say, I'm not a conspiracy sort of nut, but I do think they have kept some things quiet from the public, purely for his own protection of, I don't think we're ready. It's as simple as that. I don't think we're ready. There's too much religion, there's too much politics, there's too much materialistic rubbish in the world at the minute. Yeah. For people to start dealing with, oh, right, okay, aliens are now real, because it opens so many other questions, doesn't it, on religion. It opens the questions on it just opens a minefield of ums and ahs and hows and whys and what ifs and what nows, and I mean, we can't cope with the simplest of things on planet Earth, never mind world changing, life changing announcements like that. Yeah.
That was like, yeah, thank you for that.
It's just my opinion, I'm saying. I'm not saying any of this is fact. One thing I will say, though, and I will say that there is alien intelligence, if you want to call it that. I mean, like I say, but apart from my theory on why they haven't really communicated, that is my theory, and that's all it is, you know what I mean? But it's the way I only can rationally think without just jumping to some silly conclusion like a lot of people do, especially on this subject, because it's a very touchy subject to some people, and frightening to some people. And that's why you've got to look at these supernatural phenomena is rationally. And that's the only way to look at it, because there's no point in avoiding anything supernatural. Yeah, it's not say, oh, it's all other rubbish, blah, 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 blah. That's just ignorance. And there's, like I say, a plethora of information out there over history, going back to biblical times, of alien intelligence. But I wouldn't be afraid, like I say, I mean, I don't think it's anything that anybody should be afraid of.
Like the angels part, I have thought to it, like, weren't they really spacecrafts, like the aliens with wings?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, how many times does it reference in whatever holy book you dedicated your life to? How many times they're from the heavens, they come down from here, a beam of light was from here, and there's all these different references, and like, as you rightly say, in holy books they always put it as angels or demons, or they'll put these other terminologies onto it, because I think that's the only way they could grasp on what they were seeing back then.
Yeah.
I mean, because science didn't even exist in them times. There was no such thing as scientists as such. People just got on. It was just, you go out, and you feed your family, and that's it. And you come home, and that's basically it. It was so different in then, and so they had to interpret it in some way. So absolutely, I think that a lot of religion comes from UFOs, if you like. Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that.
After hearing all of this, what do you think, guys? Do you think that aliens are secretly watching over us and they really don't want to come visit us at this point of time? Do you think Earth is the only planet that harbors life in this universe? We would like to know. Tell us in the comment section below. So until next time, keep striving. This is me, a striving amateur. Goodbye.